She broke up with me 4 months ago. She's keeping all of our photos over the past 5 years on her Instagram still. What are your thoughts?
Well, if she still got your photos up, that means she still has the thumbs up for you. So I don't know who broke up with who. Typically, especially if it's a bad breakup, what you'll see oftentimes is at some point most of the photos, especially the intimate ones, get deleted. And so I'm assuming this guy's in no contact, probably because she dumped him and he didn't want to get dumped.
She broke up with him. That's
Is
what
that
it
what?
said on the
Yeah.
question. Mm-hmm.
So he's hoping to get back together with her, and the fact she still has them up and he's in no contact, it's possible that she may come back because that's what he's looking for. He's looking for evidence because I see that question a lot over the years. He's like, "Is there a chance? What percentage is she potentially going to come back from what you've seen over the years?" And it's a sign. It doesn't mean it's definitive. It's just like you got to be like Sherlock Holmes. It's just like one thing. Is she watching your stories? Is she liking your posts? Because when women break up with a guy and they're like, "That's it," and they leave all the social media posts up, but they disappear, and then all of a sudden, maybe a few weeks or a month or so later, you notice she starts watching your stories again, and she starts hearting, liking your posts, and then she might start commenting on the post, and then you just simply like her comment. What it does, it's kind of like the analogy of, you ever watch like a little girl going down to the ocean when the waves are coming up on the shore to kind of dip her toe in the water, and then a big wave comes up and then she runs back up shore. It's kind of like that. It's kind of feeling the guy out to see if he does something. So if she starts watching your stories again, you don't do anything. If she starts liking your posts, you don't do anything. If she comments on your posts, just give a like, just like the comment, and that's it. And what typically happens after that is that she'll DM you or she'll text you, and then you should assume that she is probably reconsidering. Her feelings have started to return. And then you can invite her over to your house in the evening to make dinner together.
I don't know about the pictures. I have pictures of my exes on there from years ago that I just never deleted. And so some of them I'm still friends with. They don't even live here, but I'm still friends with them. Yeah, I don't see any real problem with it as long as it's not an intimate setting picture. If you're kissing or something like that, which I don't put that on my Instagram anyways. If you're kissing and holding, I would delete that stuff. I wouldn't have that on it. But if it's just you two
so it's,
hanging out.
What he's saying, I assume, is all the pictures are still up.
Yeah, but they could be just pictures of them
all of our
standing next to
photos
each
over
other.
the past 5 years.
Yeah, so there's probably photos of them kissing, holding hands, hugging, all that stuff. Bottom line is she didn't delete any of them. So what you'll typically see when she's really moving on is all, like Jade was saying, all the intimate photos disappear, and then maybe just...
They go to the archive.
Yeah, exactly. They disappear from being public, is what typically will happen. And then sometimes when the girl deletes all of her photos, it doesn't mean you're out of the running. You might hear from her 2 or 3 months later. That's why you should not interact in any way. From her perspective, she needs to see that you're a ghost, basically. You've moved on and rode off into the sunset, and you ain't ever coming back. And then sometimes if there's enough interest, especially if she goes out on enough bad dates with other dudes, she's like, man, that guy wasn't so bad. He actually treated me really nice compared to this prick I went out with the other night. And then, hey.
I feel like now that she's using him as a back burner then.
No,
she's like, oh, I'm having a horrible time.
Well,
not necessarily.
They got 5 years together, so she's going to be more emotionally bonded with him than any other dude that she's gonna meet. And if that guy screws up, especially if he's just a putz and it doesn't go well, and she has a miserable experience with a new guy, then she's gonna. All of us, men and women.
For a reason.
Well, all of us.
Yeah, but things like that happen.
All of us look at the past through rose-colored glasses, especially women do when several months have gone by. They typically start to come back around, usually when something doesn't work out, or they think, hey, I'm going to meet somebody better, and then they go and they realize that the grass isn't greener. It happens. Because, again, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've seen this thousands and thousands and thousands of times over and over in emails, in my phone sessions.
I've even experienced it myself. Like with my other ex before my current ex, I've no, I mean
I had
you
an ex
know
before
how
my
the
current
story-
ex.
I know.
But that was a different ex.
But yeah,
Jocelyn's roster of exes.
I'm the next Taylor Swift.
She made a lot of money off those
Yeah,
in the songs.
I mean,
Her bad choice in men, but you know,
kudos to her. Honestly,
Look what you
kudos
made
to
me
her.
do.
I wonder what her memes and her songs will be like after Travis.
But anyway, yeah. So it's happened to me before. The thing is that my that ex, he had unfollowed me on Instagram at that point. And what was really funny, which we've mentioned in a previous video, and you've even mentioned it right now yourself, when they like your stories or when they see your stories especially, I just find it really funny how, like, at that time, he ended up, like, unfollowing me and still stalking my page.
It's still, yep, he did
Yeah.
it still. He creates another profile.
I mean, granted, we did get back together. We broke up again, but I'm telling you, things like that do happen. You'd be very surprised.
I've had girls that I dated that we were friends on social media unfriend me, and months later, sometimes years later, they call me or they text me and they get back in touch. So you never know. I've had, I remember I had a couple years ago, I had a client that he went out with he was a pretty successful guy, and he was dating this woman who was a model, and she was really beautiful, and she just dicked him around. She treated him terribly. And it was like literally almost exactly 7 years later that she got back in touch, and she was very remorseful, very apologetic, and because she had had relationships since then, and guys had really dicked her around and treated her bad, and she was very remorseful and very sorry at the way that she had treated him because she had been so poorly treated by men that she dated subsequently, and she wanted to give it another shot, and he turned her down, but it felt great for him because it took him, a couple years to get over getting burned like that. And so you never know. It's like they come back, and it does feel good because you might be in a rut, or maybe you're going through a dry spell, and then all of a sudden X shows back up out of the blue, and you're like, hey, I still got it. You feel good about it. It's nice to know that somebody likes you and cares about you and is interested in you.
Also, another thing I want to mention too, this may or may not be a crazy thought. Say if she were to delete the photos on Instagram, what are the chances that she has them archived on her phone? Because I mean, I have
Instagram.
No, not just Instagram. I'm saying on her photo gallery on her phone.
But you can archive photos on Instagram.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
pictures from 2010.
I have all my photos of all my exes archived. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I never delete.
Yeah, because
pictures.
if she just hides it, she can always, if you get back together, turn them back on so everybody sees it.
Yeah, but everyone probably already saw you hide them.
But if
That's
it's
true.
a short-term
So
relationship,
what's the point
like,
of being petty?
well,
What do you mean being petty?
Like, what's the point of hiding it? If you guys actually had, like, a long-term good relationship, there's no point of hiding the photos. You guys, you did your thing. It didn't work out, but you guys are still a part of each other's lives.
I mean, yeah, but you're not going to be putting photos of you kissing that person because if you're trying to move on and you
Yeah, but
find someone
don't
else, you
post
don't
those
wanna-
things in the beginning. Like Jade and I,
But you don't know
we
that
don't post photos
relationship
like that.
I mean, you never know. There's some relationships that do last, and people just prefer doing that.
I mean, I've had long-term relationships. I've never posted photos with any of my significant others kissing them or anything like that. Every
Yeah,
photo I ever
think
have
that's
is
too
a
much.
friendly photo.
No,
Well,
of
maybe
course.
that's
I
why they
mean,
didn't last.
Maybe that's why they didn't.
I'm just
last.
saying,
But
like,
guess what? I'm
pictures
okay
can see
with
me.
honestly,
it.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but there are some people that do that. So
Yeah, but I think that you always have to think about like the future.
the relationship was short-lived. Like, they only dated a couple of months, 2-3 months. I have somebody that I know. She's really beautiful, pretty famous, and I remember about 4 or 5 months ago, there were a lot of video, a lot of pictures with her and some dude that she was dating. They were traveling and having a great time, and I just noticed the other day that all of those pictures are now gone. So it didn't last, and he got deep sixed from her profile. But at 5 years, she's kept them up because he's obviously still means something. But it doesn't mean you're going to get back together. And even if she deletes them all, it doesn't mean that you'll never hear from her again.
Exactly. The only way you'll know is if she contacts you.
Yep.
That is the dead giveaway.
But even if she does contact you, that doesn't mean that she wants to get back together with you. She could just say, "Hey, what's up? Thinking about you. Hope
I mean,
all
the
is well."
chances of it are pretty high.
Most of the time when you ask an ex that gets back in touch after an extended period of time to get together, usually they say yes. Not always, but most of the time. That's typically what I see in the emails and the phone sessions and stuff. If she's reaching out to you, like the book says, you assume she wants to see you, make a date. Hang out, have fun, hook up.